Hello everyone, Neil Patel here. Thank you for downloading the latest episode of the Indian Startup Show. So today I speak with Nitin Gupta. He is the co-founder and CTO of NeuroTags. It's a new technology startup that is helping companies to fight the huge counterfeit market around the world. Amazing stuff. So we talk about how this works and how are things going so far. Talking to big brands in India and USA. How the business model works and how they plan to scale. Also talks about his previous life working at Yahoo, eBay and PayPal. And he also gives great advice for first-time founders and a great book recommendation as well. So please enjoy the show. Thank you. Hello, Nitin. Thank you for coming on the Indian Startup Show today.
Thank you, Neil.
Excellent. Please tell the listeners what you're building.
We are building an anti-counterfeiting solution for almost everyone must be facing the counterfeiting problem now.
Yep.
And it's a big market. It's like a $1.6 trillion market. And because of the e-commerce, it's really growing at a very fast rate. Mm-hmm. It's going to be $4.2 trillion in the next 4 years. And seems like there's no proper solution in the market about this. Mm-hmm. And we feel that technology can really solve this problem. Mm-hmm. So we are kind of like build it. And we are into the market now, mm-hmm. and we are seeing a very good traction as our solution completely solves this problem like to 100%.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And what have you actually built?
So basically what happens is if you go out in the market and you buy something either online or from a store, as a consumer, you may not know whether it's really a genuine one or it's a fake one. And there's no right way right now to really know it. And for that, what we do is we work with the manufacturers or the brands, mm-hmm. and we provide them a unique ID that can be put on the item. Mm-hmm. And as a consumer, you can scan this with any smartphone, mm-hmm. and immediately you may know whether it's a genuine item or it's a fake one.
Excellent. Okay, and where did the idea come from? What was the light bulb moment?
Actually it came from like around 2 years back. Like we were watching a documentary about the counterfeiting, and like we were shocked. This is really a major problem in many of the countries, like especially in Asia and India, mm-hmm. and also like in Canada, especially with the medicines and pharmacy. So we thought this is like there's a way we can solve it through the technology. Why we are not doing so? And that's where we are good in technology. I have been with a lot of technology companies. I've worked with PayPal and we worked in the security. Mm-hmm. So we further dig into the market and saw the most of the manufacturers or the companies, they are using the very old way of that. They're using very old technologies to try to solve this, like holograms or stickers, which are very easy to copy, and so that's why it's happening. Mm-hmm. And so we decided let's look into a way to solve it digitally, because everyone has a smartphone nowadays, and because of smartphone, a user can actually connect to the backend server or cloud server, and we can do a lot of processing that is required to actually figure out whether something is counterfeited or not. Mm-hmm. So we brainstormed, then we designed a system, and then we saw we had a kind of minimal viable product to launch in the market, and then we worked with we actually reached out in the market with some of the manufacturer. We got a big client it's a Cisco LED in India. It's pretty well known brand in India. Mm-hmm. And we decided with a pilot. Mm-hmm. And we did the pilot, and it was a pretty good success. Mm-hmm. And that's where we went to the full-fledged rollout of it. And now we are talking to a lot of other big brands. So things are in pipeline, and we are hoping we would be actually in next few months we would have some of the very big brands, very well-known global brands as our clients who will be using the solution.
Is that what you expected when you started 2 years ago?
Actually 2 years. Actually it took almost a year for us to build this solution. And finally, what we had to put in a AI component also in addition to the heuristic algorithms. Mm-hmm. because that's what like we see like moving forward. The way we see the problem is like how the other people are trying to solve it is they try to come up with some unique code which they think would be very difficult for someone to clone. And what we know is if the counterfeiter or the guys who are like producing the fake, when they can actually clone the original item, why can't they clone those tags also? And it's very like since history, like it has been happening, like like whenever you have the original item, there always will be clones. So anything you come up with in the market, like a unique tag or something, it will be cloned. So we decide, okay, let's forget about it. Let's take the think about the problem in a different way. So we decide to go out with, okay, we'll come out with some unique ID. Anyone can copy it. And we love like if someone copies it, like counterfeiter or the fake guys, let them copy. The thing is like we will catch them. That's where we differ. Like we let them copy, and within like with the help of the user scanning it to know the genuinity of the item, that's where like we catch with the patterns. Like okay, where the scans are happening, and like at what time, what location, and so on. We all those signals, when it comes back to our algorithms, they catch it. Okay, whether this particular item is supposed to be the genuine one or not. So that way, like
So how does it work then? So for example, let's say I go to Mumbai, I visit a shop, I buy some Nike trainers. Do I then just use my smartphone to check if that's a correct ID?
Right. Yeah.
From an authorized pair of trainers then.
Exactly. Yeah. So you'll see a code on for example, the brands who work with us, they'll get a code that can be put on their item. So on the package, like you'll see a code. When you scan it, you get a message whether this particular thing is genuine or not. And on the back end, like when you scan it, like a request goes to our backend server and our algorithms. They check like whether this particular code has been scanned in other places or not. And there are like a lot of there's a big recipe behind the scene that goes on to tell you with like almost 95 to 98% certainty that okay, this is the genuine item. And this code is like a unique per item. So if you see like two bottles, like for example, two shoes of the same brand, both of them will have the code, but both the codes would be different. So it's like a unique identity that we provided to per item.
So can you share some stats then? How many clients have you got on board then?
So far, like we have close to 6 clients on board, and one of them is a big brand, and we are talking to around 20 pretty big brands like across the like India, and also we are talking to 3 brands like which are pretty big and very well known in US. So that's they are in sales pipeline, and we would say like we are almost like 90 to 95% there to sign off the deal. So I'm hoping like in next few months we'll have a good news for us.
Yeah. Cross fingers. And in terms of the business model, then how are you making money out of this?
So basically, the way we work is it's like a pay-per-use model that we go for. So like when we provide the unique ID per item, that's where we charge the brands. So it's a very small amount that the like brands pay us depending on the volume. So it's almost like 1 by 1,000 of the product cost. Usually it's 1 by 1,000 or 1 by 2,000, something like that.
I suppose this could work in pretty much all industries, right? Or are you specifically targeting certain industries?
So right now, like it can work on any physical goods. And at this moment, we are targeting like industries like alcohol. We are targeting the industries like pharmaceutical. We are also targeting the cannabis industry in US. And again, we are targeting the like apparel brands. So yeah, we are like focusing on these 4 to 5 verticals right now, and as and when they convert, then we will probably like also venture out in other verticals also. Although like the companies which are in pipeline, we are getting a lot of inquiries from a lot of other verticals also, like including the lubricants, electrical and electronics parts, and so on. Just
going back to the early days, then what kind of challenges did you have to overcome then to get this off the market? off the ground as well?
Right. So initially, like when we went out in the market, the problem was it was very difficult for them to really understand, because most of the way they had been trying to fight the counterfeit is through like holograms or stickers, those type of things.
Yeah.
And for them to understand, okay, there's this technology, just you put a unique code and it can really solve this problem, was difficult for them to like really believe in. But when we presented them with demos and so on, so the first thing was like it was good. It was like a bit difficult to get even the appointment to like show them the demo. But like after like we tried, like my other co-founders, they tried their best and got a meeting. We showed them, we explained them how mathematically like it really works, and really like as a counterfeiter, I would never go for your brand if there's a NeuroTag on it, because then it just makes counterfeiting a very, very risky business for me.
So basically, you can't hack this then.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing.
Sure. So yeah, and like once we got a traction from one or two, like for example, once we were used by some of the brands or some of the other companies, then like by giving the reference to those companies, then the other people started to like, okay, start believing us. Okay, and we started to get like, okay, the meetings, and then when we demonstrate our technology, like it's like, okay, wow, this is great. That's what we get. And it's not only like what happens is right now, it's not just the counterfeiting that the like manufacturers are facing. The other problems that they are facing is they have no visibility of their product in the supply chain. For example, if say I'm making a product, like if I'm say I'm a wine manufacturer, like I have a lot of wine bottles which are going out in the market. Once they like leave my warehouse, after that, like if there's I can know, okay, something has reached to my X distributor. That's all. After that, where it's gone, like to which retailer or which consumer is using or which city things are going, I have no idea about that. But with the help of NeuroTags, like everything becomes visible immediately. Like as soon as someone scans this, immediately you know, okay, this particular bottle or this particular like box or pallet actually has reached here. And that's amazing. Like this data, to get this data, it's a lot of struggle for a lot of manufacturers. Like it usually takes around 2 quarters to get like a kind of like, you can say, like a very small set of data that they try to collect from the various distributor, or an intern distributor try to collect from the retailers. But here, like it's instantly there, like in their fingertips. So like now they can know, okay, where exactly their item is in the supply chain. Not only that, because like when you scan something, and after that, what happens is we give one more tag, which we call it as a user engagement tag. So that's like once you acquire the item, you can scratch it and open it, and that's where like as a brand, like for example, a wine bottle, I can say give you a kind of like say coins or say some cash back or maybe some loyalty points, which you like if you accumulate certain loyalty point, you may get back some surprise gift or something. And that's where like because like I have like a lot of wine bottles that are going across the world, and a lot of people are actually, when they're consuming it, they're actually interacting with your product. But right now your product is like kind of like your product is not live. It's just a piece there with no like you can say like no life in it to tell you back, okay, hey, I am here, and to talk to the consumer, okay, you know, like I have something for you to offer more than what it is there inside me. So that's where like we come in with our digital technology. As soon as the user scans it, say user scans the second tag, which is like tied to the loyalty, you like as a brand, I can say, okay, you get these many points, and to avail those points, user can have their like communication address or like email or phone number, and then brands can also like and they can opt in themselves, okay, to receive certain news about the wines or something is which is going on in the like say in their city, some kind of like festival or some conference which they would be interested in. So those kinds of engagement starts to happen. This type of engagement is possible in the online world, like when you sell online, or when the reason like why Amazon is so powerful. But when it comes to the offline world, it's kind of like everything is like in a dark ages. Like I have no idea and I have no way to communicate with the consumer. But with our technology, now everything is like I can very well connect to the consumer, and consumer can also reach out to me in terms of like feedback, or if in terms of like something they would like us to like improve or something like that. And if for example, if it's electronics and electricals and they have some problem, they can immediately know, okay, this is the number where to call. Or we also provide the e-warranty, for example. So if your item is within warranty, so you don't have to maintain the paper warranty card. Instead, like as soon as you scan this, it gets registered to your phone, and then if anything happens, like say 2 years down the line, you want to contact, okay, just scan it again, and you can immediately contact.
Yeah, excellent.
And the company can reach out to you.
Have you tried selling this to Amazon?
We are like actually talking to the Amazon, like that thread is on. Yeah,
that's a big contract if you can get that.
Right.
Okay, so in 2 years' time, then, what would you say with what were the aims and objectives in the next 2 years then?
Next 2 years, like recently, like we like for past 3 months, we have started to like we launched the product in the market like this January. Before that, like we had been doing a pilot and testing, and we have started seeing the traction like for past 3 months, and that's where like we have like so many like brands in the pipeline. So we are hoping like in 1 year it would be a lot of acceleration that we are hoping for. And maybe in next 2 years, like we'll have in terms of like revenue and in terms of other growth also, it will be pretty good. And not only that, what we are aiming for is like we really want, if you see like when it was like 1980s or something, the counterfeiting was very, very less. Like it was almost, there's nothing. But after that, like it slowly started increasing, and as the economy became global and the supply chain became global, and as the e-commerce came in, so it became very easy to like penetrate the supply chain as a counterfeiter for. So that's where like these things started to increase. But if you see, like I still have some clothes that was like when my dad from India, like he went to Russia and Europe countries, he bought some clothes, and if I like, they are still like so good. Their quality is like really good, and some of the electronics item like a stereo still works. But if you see like today, like it's very difficult for me to really get a genuine item unless like I'm very sure about the store which is selling me. If it's a direct outlet like an Apple outlet, I know, okay, it's genuine. Otherwise it's not. So that can be restored, like that faith in the brand can actually be restored with the help of digital technology now. And that's what we want to do. And not only that, like when we did the research, we saw like more than 1 million people get killed because of the counterfeited drugs. And if we can save even one life, that would be like a lifetime achievement for us. And we really want to like do so. And with our technology, we aim.
Yeah, I was just wondering, I mean, what's the most counterfeited good? Probably jewelry, I suppose, or clothes, I don't know.
The most one is pharmaceutical one, like because there's a huge margin in it.
Interesting stuff.
And then electronics and electricals.
Yeah, it seems everything's going well. Getting customers, great technology. What can go wrong? Anything that keeps you up at night?
The only thing that keeps us
growing too fast.
That's what like we are planning to scale up fast. Like we're seeing like how we can scale fast and how to make sure like our basic principles, like why we started, like we always have that in mind, that we want to make the world a better place, like a free of counterfeiting, and have the right, like if I'm an inventor or if I'm coming up with a new line of products, then it shouldn't be like I'm doing all the work, and when I go out in the market, someone is just copying it and just putting the wrong like ingredients, like which are like probably like much cheaper, and coming out with a cheaper product and actually capturing the market. It should be like, okay, if I'm doing something and if I'm selling something, then it should be only me who should be able to sell it and reach out to the right consumer, so that like people get like what I am originally producing, rather than like someone is coming in that supply chain and trying to sell the fake stuff and eating away the market. And also like it's not good for me as a business, as well as it's not good for someone who is a consumer, because it may harm for example, a battery, it can explode. And from the consumer point of view, it would be probably like it's the branded battery which exploded, but actually it may be the counterfeited one. So yeah.
How big do you want to go with this then?
It's a very big market, like it's a $1.6 trillion market, and it's increasing at a very high pace. So even if we capture like 10% of the market, it's pretty huge.
Do you want to be a unicorn?
Kind of, yeah, sure, definitely.
Nothing wrong with that. What's your background then? Let's talk about you then.
I'm an engineer.
Yeah.
So basically, I passed out like long back in 2000. I joined Yahoo, and then I moved to Bay Area. I worked for like Bank of America. I worked for PayPal and eBay, and that's where I also I was a kind of like an ethical hacker during my college days.
Okay.
I was more into the security.
Okay.
Yeah. In PayPal also, like I helped them like building a secure system, and then I joined as a kind of like engineer. I was heading the engineering department of a gaming company in California. That's where like they faced a lot of like hacking problem before I joined, and then I tried to like put in the right things in place so that like those holes are plugged in. And so that's what so this was like very very interesting stuff for me, like okay, how we can prevent this thing happening, like if you see from that perspective.
Yeah. What was the culture like then when you were working for Yahoo and eBay and PayPal?
It's a very, actually it's in the technology company, it's a very very friendly culture, like it's I really miss sometimes it was really fun when I used to work for Yahoo and PayPal. Like we all were like really hardcore geeky engineers.
Why did it all go wrong for Yahoo then?
With Yahoo, I think I don't want to comment too much, but maybe the way I feel that Yahoo was like they started hiring the wrong people. All the core people who were in Yahoo, you find them in Google now. They started like, for example, I heard from somewhere like they say like when you hire A people, they will hire the A plus people. But if you start hiring the B people, they'll start hiring the C people and D and so on. And I see that like in that way the culture went wrong. Like they should have focused on hiring the right people who focus on working on the product, getting the right thing in the market, rather than like trying to somehow like go up in the corporate ladder. So at least that's what I feel like went wrong with the Yahoo.
Okay, excellent. Were you there when they had that massive hack at Yahoo?
That was like in 2000 something later. Like I left Yahoo much earlier.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah, what happened to that then? What, in your experience? Looking back.
Yeah, actually, there like always some or other security holes are there. It's just like it's basically like it depends on completely on like how you make sure like you safeguard the things. So I would say like it's unfortunate. Even sometimes like you may have the best security in place, but because you are someone like who not only have to build the whole thing. It's just like somewhere while building there might be a small leak which you may not have observed, but if there's a hacker who's like consistently, his only goal is to like crack the system, he may find some hole somewhere, and that's where he can get in. But yeah, the important thing is like as soon as you find the hole, like you just put stop there, like you just plug it the things in it, and yeah.
Okay. What advice would you give to startup founders then? What's the thing they should be focusing on first?
I think like important thing is to create a value. If you create value, and then automatically it takes time for others to recognize, okay, there's a value in something, and there's an endurance that you have to bear. And after that, like you'll figure out, like you start with the X product, it may not be the right fit for the market or for the opportunity, but if you keep pursuing it and you know, okay, it is a problem that there's a problem that it's solving, over that sometime you'll figure out, okay, it's not exactly X, maybe X1 or X2 is the right way of like making it fit for basically scaling it. So it's I would say like a focus on value, and then have a endurance.
Okay, Excellent. Okay. And can you recommend any like books or blogs to our listeners?
One of the book that I found very interesting is like Speed of Trust.
Okay.
I really liked it. So that helped me like to choose the right people as my co-founders.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So give us some advice then on finding people. Then do you go for experience or qualifications? What specifically do you look for?
Basically, they're like I would say I go first thing is the trust. I should be able to trust the people and with whom I am working. Second thing is like they should have a passion. That's more important than anything else. So trust is important thing. The first thing. Second is passion. They should be passionate about what they are doing or what is the role that they are willing to take. And third thing is like they should be open to learn something new, because the world is like every day you're getting something new, like you discover something new. Everything is there's new discoveries happening, so you should be ready to like learn something. If you're like what you're doing, or if your like job or your role requires some new like picking up something new, you should be fast in that. And then comes the other things like skills or other things. So for me, like first three things are most important thing, and then the fourth one is the skills, like whether you have the experience in those things or not.
Yes, you mentioned bootstrapping, but then how will you scale this in the future?
The scaling is like if we like what our estimation says, actually we are already talking to some of the investment firms.
Okay.
So some of the VC firms have reached out to us, and what we are seeing is like if we are able to like there are like four very big players whom we are talking to, and even if two of them come on board say next 3 or 4 months, we'll have more than enough money to actually run things without actually taking some external money. But we are planning to like really scale fast. So we are also talking to some of the VC firms who are like very much willing to move further. It's just like we are waiting to actually kind of like crack 2 or 3 more sales, so we have a better valuation. So that's how like we are thinking of.
Any names you can tell us?
I have NDA signed with almost all of them.
No worries. Okay. So are you pitching them then? Do you have to like go into the office and with a PowerPoint presentation? How's it work?
Yeah, actually the way like to be very frank, like till past 2 months I had not we didn't have a slide to really share properly.
Okay.
But like in past 2.5 months, like actually we started like making some slides, and now we are, because they ask us, okay, send us some slides, something. So that's what like we started making, and we are like sending them the slides and we talk to them. So I think like nowadays the landscape has changed a lot. It's more about even the VCs or the investors, like they see like whether they can actually leverage or we can leverage their connections or not. They see in all those aspects. So that's how like we are also evaluating to have a investment firm where we can leverage their connection to like actually to be able to reach out to the right people in the right organizations, so that like it's a better like our sales process can become like a smaller, so that like instead of going for like waiting for like 3 to 6 months, if you can make it a smaller one, like say 1 or 2 months, and we start with a pilot faster. So we are like evaluating all those things, and that's how like.
But you must have some good connections then, working ex Yahoo, ex eBay,
right,
PayPal.
Yeah. I'm leveraging those, and Actually, I have like friends like who are helping me out with this, and they are like connecting me with the right people in the industry.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent. Hobbies and interests. Obviously you work on this 24/7.
Yeah.
Any time to relax?
Actually, it's just like I try my best to take the Sunday out for myself and for my family. Okay. But many times I have to like give into the I have to like if it's a call that, or if I have to travel, then I have to like be involved in that. So definitely. Okay. Like working in a startup is really it takes a lot of your time. I would not say like it's stress, but it really consumes a lot of your time and your brain width.
Are you having fun then?
Yeah, it's definitely a fun. Like actually, it's like if you're doing something that you really like, you're passionate about, it's always fun.
Excellent. Last question then. For people
Sure.
who want more information on you and NeuroTags, what must they do?
Yeah, they can directly like contact me on like Nitin at neurotags.com, or they can also visit our website www.neurotags.com, and they can contact directly from there.
Nitin, thank you very much indeed. I wish you all the best.
Sure, thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Steve.
mate. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Thanks to Nitin for coming on the show today. Thank you for supporting the podcast. I should be back next week. If you're building something really exciting, please send me an email, hello@patel.co, or tweet at indianstartup.sh, or go to facebook.com/indianstartup. We'll love to connect. Thank you and goodbye.